Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of Scandal. So sorry that I'm a day late, but it couldn't be prevented. Oh my gosh, this was a good episode. And right off the top, I just want to say I loved the Christmas music playing throughout the entire episode. It was just awesome. Oh my gosh, too much. And Olivia off the top, doing like basically Olivia's nightmare came true. And I love that the fantasy over the last 5 seasons has become her nightmare. And like, let's just get right to it. That scene between her and Fitz was awesome. It revealed a lot for me because over these last few episodes we've watched Cyrus watch Olivia run things in the White House, and we all just sort of thought, maybe we didn't all think it, but it looked like Fitz was just going with the flow and let Olivia make all these decisions. And I like that he was bringing it to the attention that he was aware of everything that was going on. And she called him out on so many things, and it was awesome. That scene was so intense. And when they were doing the cuts with the flashbacks to what we all remember as like what brought them together, there those little moments that sealed their fate as two star-crossed lovers was pretty good, intertwined with their fight. And then it's at the end she just screams, and all the editing stops when she says there is no us and not anymore. And it's like, yeah. And when she says to him, we should like she had already asked him, we should have waited, we should have tried to have been together before, and just let that play out and not just move in and act like we're the new hot couple in town, because it just, they weren't ready for it. And she was right. And I like that scene, like after they have that screaming match with each other, and then she basically hands him the moonshine and she's like, join me for the drink, because, and he goes, yeah, I hate it when you're right, and she goes, yeah, me too. So that scene was very well done. They were both making some very compelling points, and they were just accurate with everything. And I like that he called her out and she called him out, and oh, it was just so good. Now, in that scene before, did she get an abortion? Oh my goodness. Wowza. Meanwhile, that's happening, and I love that the scene with Mellie was sort of Olivia realizing that it's her, that is the life she wants, that excitement, that energy, that drive, that passion to push forwards with something. Meanwhile, she's stuck at the White House, finding out recipes for cinnamon cookies and doing seating arrangements and picking out china patterns, and it's like the dullest day ever. And even her girl there, Red, looks at her and she's like, is this the Olivia I know? Because she's like, you're kind of good at this. She's like, yeah, I know. Because Olivia's good at everything. But no, she's basically stuck there, sitting, looking pretty, wearing floral dresses, which is so not her. So much good stuff. And then we had Huck dealing with Olivia's father. And that scene between the two of them, when he starts mentioning, first of all, when Olivia's dad keeps calling them his kids, you're my son, you're this, and I'm like, I mean, I know it's not for realsies, but he is the one who asked Jake to seduce his daughter. So when you're calling him your son and you want him to seduce your daughter, a little gross. But we all know that is not the case. But he looks at though as though he was their father and he took care of them, when really he just did torturous things to them. And I love it when Huck basically says, "Look, you're nobody's dad, and the things that these people have been saying about your daughter and how she rose to fame and spread her legs and called her a hoe, I wouldn't want that to be said about my daughter." And he's like, "You did no service to him." He's like, "Which white man would you prefer be inside of her?" I was like, "Damn." Sometimes this show, oh my goodness. So yeah, that happened, and we find out that he obviously was not behind Lazarus One, or is not behind Lazarus One. And Alex came back from last season, who was sent to date his daughter, sent to date Olivia, and we remember he tried to kill Jake in towards the end of season 4. And so we find out that he is actually working with Tom, who didn't die in last week's episode, and that Tom was to report to Alex so that he could get information and stick close to Olivia's dad. And then So Jake now tracks him down. He's blah blah blahing. Oh, we need you for Lazarus One, and we need to do this together. Boom. Jake's like, deuces, you gotta go, and he just shoots him in the head. And then he goes back to Olivia's dad, and he's like, yeah. I guess you weren't behind Lazarus One, and then he's like, welcome home, son. And then he walks into Rowan's house, and I'm like, what is going on, people? What is going on? So now Olivia has moved herself out of the White House, out of her prison, and she's back home. I'm like, wait a second, how does she have a full decorated Christmas tree? I think you can just order that, right? Because I'm like, she just moved in. She's got a fully decorated, beautiful Christmas tree. She's sipping on her wine. She got herself a new couch because, as you notice in the last few episodes, every time they would show her house, the cushion where she spilled her wine was gone. And now she's smiling. She's sitting on the couch. She's got her glass of wine. She's good to go now that she has been removed from her prison cell. And everything that was going on with Mellie on the Senate floor was really good, with the whole Planned Parenthood and doing the whole filibuster and not being able to go to the bathroom and having to do it for 16 hours. That is craziness, okay? So she won that case, which was great. And, they were not going to suspend funding towards Planned Parenthood, which was also great. And it was just a really powerful moment for her character in this episode. And I love that Olivia came to her rescue. She got the vice president involved. And then who is absolutely adorable, so she helped her out so she could run to the bathroom. And then Olivia's in the bathroom. And then those two have a little tete-a-tete, which was great because, let's face it, those two, Mellie and Olivia, are frenemies, but they are really both on the same side. They've done so much work for each other. And I like that in this moment they were working together again. And then she's like, oh, yeah, you've got that dinner at the house. She's like, that's such a dull. She's like, anyways, gotta go, and it's almost like Olivia was jealous of that moment because that's the life she has, you know what I mean? She's like always on the go, has to fight a cause, is trying to save somebody's life, and nope, she's at home making cookies and picking out sad patterns. So that was great. And then of course we also got some cute stuff with the vice president, Susan Ross, and her getting the re-gift from David Rosen. That's not going to end well. I'm glad we did not actually see Elizabeth and David getting it on. We just saw the aftermath of them putting their clothes back on or just tucking in their clothes because nobody wants to see that. But the Susan Ross stuff is so cute. She's absolutely adorable. And she has such a crush, and he's just clueless. So hello, get a clue, buddy. So anyways, the music was awesome, all of it. The Christmas music, the other music, just tied into me. I mean, I love Christmas time, so all the music was awesome. And I just like how, bubbly and perky it was. Meanwhile, it's like Olivia is in hell. But that scene, wow, between Olivia and Fitz was awesome. And I like that they got they were screaming at each other. But then they got to that point where it's like, well, we tried and failed, and now this is like, what do we do? She moves out, and I love, the part in that fight that I loved was when she said we should have waited, and he's like, well, I was unavailable then. And he's like, you liked me unavailable. And she's like, yeah, I didn't have to deal with this side of you. Mellie had to deal with this. I basically was the woman who just could come in and be awesome. And I could date the guy who was so, had to be taken care of in this way, but I could take care of you in a different way. And I thought that was so great because, let's face it, that's what it is. You're just the shiny new toy on the other side. Meanwhile, the wife is the one dealing with the day-to-day madness that you are. So when they had that real talk, I was like, that is some truth right there. And I like that she was just like, this isn't the side I like of you. This is painful. So that was awesome. All right, guys, that is it for me. Sorry that I'm a day late, but I hope you'll still tune in, watch the review, subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you when the show returns. Oh my gosh, what are we, a couple months? Yeah, something like that. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.